Hello, I am Umbrenero and welcome to Umbrenero's Life. Today's video is my January 2024 plan with me. To kick off the new year, we are starting with our monthly cover page. And this year, I am doing different video games as each of my monthly themes. And for January, I am starting with the God of War series because it's a game that I actually enjoy. I've watched a lot of playthroughs of it, and it's a game that is on my eventual to playlist, but I felt like it would be something different because I'm not into a lot of those plant-based designs and things like that. So I wanted something that I would enjoy. So I'm doing God of War. And as you can see, I drew in my calendar in red. And then I added a mountain because in the 2018 God of War, their main thing was to get up a mountain. I included the world serpent as well. And that is how I am tying together all the pages in this spread, at least the non-weekly pages. And I didn't want to do all of the small, extremely detailed parts to the serpent. So I just tried to get a greenish gray color to represent him. So my cover page for January has the calendar right there on it and a very small and simple key. But it's going to work. And it has everything I might need on it, which helps. The font that I am using for like my headers and all of that, I actually was watching through some more playthroughs of the game and I was jotting notes on how the font looked so that way I could replicate it the best I could. So the cover page was quick and simple. It only took me about 14 minutes to do, which is not bad at all. The next page was my monthly log, and as you could see in the prior clip, that it was right there on the next page. And this only took me 4 minutes to do initially, because I wanted it to be simple and straight to the point. I think doing the font and the serpent is what took the longest, since there really wasn't much other decoration on this page. I just made it 2 columns long, and it should be enough. I don't think I have that many things going on this next month. I can say there were small mistakes made while I was adding in the color for the serpent's body as it was going through this page, but I just go with the flow at this point. I did get slightly worried that my tombos were showing through onto the other side, but they were not, so all is good on that front. So next is my goals and things area. And a little different from last year is I am not separating them out on the page. I am just going to let them mingle and be together. But I had to make sure I got the world serpent included on this page somehow. So he's hanging out on the top left side, and I kind of wish I would have done a little bit of the detail, but that's something I'm looking back now and wishing I would have done. But it will work for what I wanted. So this section I did in real time. It only took me 3 minutes roughly to get done, and I was very impressed that it only took that long. But then again, it is a very simple page. Now it was for my habit tracker. So this year I want to use a habit tracker more, and I hope I am able to, and that I will use it. So this one is a different layout than I would do normally. And to tie it to the other pages, I brought in the world serpent on the lower right side, just out of the way and not taking up too much space. But on the left side of the page, I actually numbered 1 through 31 down the center part of the page. And I'm going to do a design that I thought I seen in the game, like a very more simplified version that I have along the habits I am tracking. So I want to try to do a pattern like that down each of the columns of every habit. And it is very ambitious, but I think I can do it. And I did leave myself enough space to add other habits as I'm going throughout the month, because you never know, something else might come up. This took just under 10 minutes to record doing this section with all of the details. So next is my content plan. My content plan is very basic at this point. I put a small calendar on the top half of the page and have the world serpent on the lower left side. But that's fine. I don't know exactly how I am going to utilize this spread as of making it currently, but I left enough space to jot notes down for if there is something I need to get done urgently, and also to kind of help keep track of my video schedule. But on some of the pages, you may have noticed I was doing the line work with the red marker. And that is because the main character of God of War has a red tattoo on his upper body and face. So I figured that it was a good way to incorporate his essence into the design of the theme, and it's different. That's probably the biggest reason why I did it. In all, this page took around 4 minutes to do, and it's not that bad. It could have been a lot longer if I would have had a lot more details to put into it. Now I am onto my weekly logs, and I wanted to have them stacked. And one of the decisions I already made is for a week, right, where I don't have all 7 days, I am going to put it all on a singular page. But before I even did that with this first week here, I went and I was listening and watching a God of War playthrough while I was working on this, and I seen one of the marks that Kratos, the main character of the game, follows kind of looked like the blue symbol I drew at the top of the page here, as this is where I want to start my week. Then on each of the days, I decided to mark the day with a little diamond of 4 different colors, and they kind of represent the different color health bars that your enemies would have in the game. And I just thought it was a neat little way to bring in some of these little details. So I just kept rotating between the 4 colors throughout the entire month for my weekly logs. And on this page, my weekly log is a little small since I have it all fitting on a singular page, because there was only 6 days in the first week, because I do not like my planners starting with a Monday start. I prefer the Sunday because that gives me a day before the busy work week to actually get stuff done. And it's personal preference. So in each of the little diamonds, I tried to replicate the font I was doing for my headers. On some of the letters for the day of the week that they correspond to, it is a little rough. I'll just put it at that. So I repeated this throughout the rest of the weeks for the month. And this page I kind of messed up, but I'm not being perfect. It's fine. And I thought I had things marked in the correct spots. I didn't. Had the wrong note to myself. And I realized I accidentally pulled a page, the top of the page out right there. So I had to be very careful going through with my designs. So continued the pattern and all of the labeling. So on the lower right side of my weekly, I have a little section where I can do little doodles like I did right here. And I might do that throughout the week or use it as a general notes section. But I decided to draw a chest and a little yellow handprint because those are things that are in the game. So then I continued drawing all of my diamonds in the various colors and my lines for the weekly logs. The previous page was the only time during my setup that I actually did a little doodling. I left the other weeks blank, and I'm kind of glad I did because maybe I'll work on my chest drawing and actually have a nice one by the end of the month. Who knows? So this section took the longest to do all of the work for, even though it was very bare bones. It took roughly 25 minutes because it was repeating the same thing over a course of multiple pages. But I've learned if I don't get it all done in a single go, it won't all get done. So since the last week of January only has 4 days with how I keep track of my weeks, that's why I only did a 4-day spread on that last page here. The final section is my reflection section, and I wanted it to be a lot simpler than it had been in the past. So it's simply only 3 sections, and I am glad it's only 3. I have an area for stuff for the next month, so anything that would be for February. I have a good things section where I can jot down some of the good things that happened throughout the month, and an improvement section for things that I feel need improvement. And you can see the world serpent does return on this page, where I drew what kind of looks like an end of a snake's tail. So I had to draw this page into the theme, and the red marker does make a comeback for the boxes of each section. For some reason, I think the tail looks a little bit greener on the last page here, but that's fine. It'll work. I'm not going to stress over that small detail. So, this is my final look of how the journal turned out for my January 2024 spread. I think it's actually a neat theme that I really haven't seen done before, and it's different. And I hope that it inspires me to use my journal more, which is the goal. But I do look forward to the rest of the themes this year. So, thank you for watching, and until next time, I am Umbrenero. Bye!